What's up, guys? Back for another Star Wars video. In this video we are going to go over, should you summon for Aventurine? Now, I might be incredibly biased in this video, but I personally love Aventurine, probably one of my favorite characters to use in the game. But obviously we still got to go over the kit and all that stuff before we give the answer. So yeah, don't forget to hit like and possibly subscribe, and let's get on with the video. So Aventurine is a 5-star imaginary preservation character. Now, this is actually pretty important because for some reason, Aventurine is the only premium 5-star. Not the only 5-star, because there is the preservation MC or the fire MC and Jeopard, but the first summonable character, or summonable 5-star, well, yeah, I guess actually summonable character that gives shields. Because the only other 5-star preservation is Fushuan, but Fushuan does give shields. For some reason, they really don't care to give characters shields, which is weird because it's like a whole simulated universe buff and everything. Very weird. So Aventurine already has a ton of value there. But let's go over his kit, right? So deals magic damage equal to 100% of his defense. Most of the time, this is attack. Aventurine scales off defense, so pretty much his defense stat might as well just be his attack stat for this, right? Then his skill provides all allies with Fortified Wager Shield. That can block damage equal to 24% of Aventurine's defense plus 320, lasting for 3 turns. When Fortified Wager is gained repeatedly, the shield effect can stack up to 200% of the current shield effect provided by the skill. This means that if you were to proc it, let's say you get hit and you proc it, right? And you have a little bit of shield, it'll like add on to it, which is actually pretty damn nice because it makes it to where your shield is even beefier than it normally would if you use, like, let's say like Fire MC shield or Jeopard shield. Then Aventurine's ultimate randomly gets 1/7 points of blind bet, then inflicts a nerve on a single target enemy for 3 turns and deals magic damage equal to 270 of Aventurine's defense to a single target enemy. When an ally hits an unnerved enemy target, the crit damage dealt increases by 15%. This gives Aventurine not only sustainability, but also a supportive role because it increases crit damage. It only is single target, but that is still pretty nice. Then, for every single ally with Fortified Wager, increases their effect res by 50%. This is going to help you not get hit with debuffs, which is very good. You still can get hit with debuffs, but it'll make it a lot less likely because you'll just have a base 50%. And when they get attack, Aventurine gains 1 point of blind bet. When Aventurine has Fortified Wager, he can resist crowd control debuffs. This effect can trigger again after 2 turns, meaning he will like full on resist it no matter what, at least once. Aventurine additionally gains 1 point of blind bet after getting attacked. Upon reaching 7 points of blind bet, Aventurine consumes 7 points to launch a 7-hit follow-up attack, with each hit dealing magic damage equal to 25% of Aventurine's defense to a single random enemy. Blind bet is capped at 10 points. This means when Aventurine is hit, you get 2 stacks, and when an ally is hit, you get 1 stack, and if you get AoE'd, you're going to get a total of 5 stacks, 2 for Aventurine and 3 for the other characters. Meaning, right, that you can get blind bet through his ultimate a total of 1 to 7, so you can just straight up get all 7 and be good to go. Then when you use his talent, I believe it's in one of his traces, potentially you get more shield, meaning it'll stack with the fact that you get him 200%. So in theory, you'd hit skill, then you get hit, and then you'd activate his talent and you get a little bit more shield. And even if it went past the limit, because of how his skill works, you get even more shield. Actually, just chef's kiss. They thought of everything in this character. Then his technique. After his technique, the following effects will be granted. There's a chance for defense to increase by 24%, 36%, and 60%. When the technique is used repeatedly, the acquired effect will be the highest buff value. And when the next battle starts, increase allies' defense by corresponding value lasts for 3 turns. It's pretty much just a gotcha machine, right? You just spam until you get the big fireworks, and then you're good to go. Then his bonus traces. After team with Fortified Wager launches follow-up attack, Aventurine accumulates 1 blind bet point. This effect can trigger up to 3 times per turn, and the trigger can't reset at the start of Aventurine's turn. After Aventurine launches his talent's follow-up attack, provides all allied targets with a Fortified Wager that can block damage equal to 7% of Aventurine's defense plus 96. Additionally, grants a Fortified Wager that can block damage equal to 7% of Aventurine's defense plus 96 to ally with the lowest shield effect lasts for 3 turns. This is what I was talking about, how his follow-up is going to give you a little mini shield, and it even has a little bonus for whoever is with the lowest, which can help a character live hit if they're a bit squishy. Then another one is when the battle starts, grants all allies with fortified wielder shield, whose shield effect is equal to 100% of the one provided by the skill, lasting for 3 turns. That just means you start off the fight with the shield, which is really good because there's a lot of times now where the bosses will attack you frame 1, so Aventurine will make sure you aren't just losing a bunch of HP off rip. Then the last one, for every 100 of Aventurine's defense that exceeds 1,600, increases his own career by 2% for a maximum increase of 48%. This can make Aventurine a sort of, not a full-on sub-DPS, but lets him have a little bit of damage of his own. So, Aventurine is not only being an incredible sustain with his shield, he is increasing effect res, he is increasing ally crit damage to one enemy, and he's doing his own damage, all in one character. I say that's pretty damn freaking good. Then his stat bonuses are 35% to defense, W, 14.4 to imaginary damage boost, and 10% effect res. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty W spread because defense scales off it, effect res, he wants it. And then imaginary damage boost just for the extra damage. Now, I never recommend going for dupes. I say it all the time. Aventurine actually has some pretty good dupes, and as a owner of E1, it is absolutely disgustingly broken. E1 increases crit damage for all ally targets with fortified wager, meaning if you have a shield, you get a crit damage boost. And then obviously his ult will also boost crit damage, so a double crit damage boost. After using the ultimate, provides all allies with a fortified wielder shield, whose shield effect is equal to 100% of the one provided by the skill, lasting for 3 turns. So pretty much whenever you ult, you get his skill for free. This means that Aventurine can just spam basic attacks and he's good to go. I rarely ever have to use the shield, and I'm also getting crit damage with it. Very good dupe. If you have the currency and you really like Aventurine, I actually highly recommend getting it. It makes him absolutely disgusting. A skill point positive. Just absolutely insane dupe, I'm telling you right now. Then his E2 is also very good. When using a base attack, reduces the reduces the target's all type res by 12% for 3 turns. This means that if you're pairing him with Acheron, every single basic attack you do is 1 point for Acheron off rip. This is insanely good because he's skill point positive as well, so you can run her with someone like Bronya as well. At least that's what I do. And Action Advancer and just go skill heavy because Aventurine is going to be generating 1 along with generating 1 point for ultimate. I mean, it also just helps anyone in general because it's all type res, but still very nice dude because on his basic attack, right? Then his E4, when triggering his talent's follow-up attack, first increases Aventurine's defense by 40% for 2 turns, and additionally increases the hits per action of his talent's follow-up attack by 3. This is pretty much just a damage boost. And then E6, for every teammate that holds a shield, the damage dealt by Aventurine increases by 50% for a maximum of 150. I mean, it's just the 3 other allies having 50, 100, 150. So the last one is a DPS boost. Overall, the best ones are going to be E1 and E2. Funny how Hoyo really makes the really important dupes E1, E2 for most people, just to like kind of coax them into spending just a little bit. If I was going to go for one, I would say E1 is an okay stopping point. If you plan to use Aventurine with Acheron, E2 is kind of what you want to get, right? But I think Aventurine is completely fine at E0. Now, in terms of teams, no brainer. Follow-up attack team is really good. Acheron team is really good. Really, just any team besides probably Break and Dot. You could use Aventurine on Break because he does a lot of toughness damage, but you know, you probably just want to use Linksha or Gallagher for that team. But you really can slot him on any team and he'll do completely fine because he does a bit of damage and then pretty much makes the team almost invincible. I really only have lost to the Simulated Universe where they're like insanely giga buff one-shot potential, and it still takes them quite a bit of time to eat through Aventurine's shields. So I highly recommend getting him. He's a very, like, by far the best sustain in the game, and I personally have him at number 1 because yes, Robin is really busted, Runway is really busted, but having a sustain that can somewhat support, I know it's only 50% crit damage, but I mean it is something, and dish out a bit of damage is so nice. Aventurine is an incredibly amazing character, and I'm very looking forward to seeing how they power creep him, because unless they just straight up just make a better shielder, it's going to be very hard to beat him. I think someone like Fushuan wouldn't cut it with how Fushuan works. I don't think a healer could cut it. Lingsha is very, very close because she has like the auto heals, but they just can't. The shields are just so strong in this game, so it makes sense that they've really been hesitant to make another one. I mean, heck, we do not have a new 4-star shielder. It's just Jeopard, March 7th, Aventurine, and then the Fire MC. That's it. Like, are we gonna get a 4-star shielder? We really do need one, even if it's, hopefully it's AoE, because March is only single target shield, but until then, Aventurine is just the king, right? And he does it so amazingly well. In terms of light cones, his light cone increases his personal damage, and then it makes it to where you apply a debuff with his follow-up attack. So Acheron mains, I know they kind of got you with this one. You know, E2 with light cone is kind of what you'd want to get, but me, I actually use the Jeopard light cone, which has a defense boost and a taunt mechanic, which makes him get more likely to get hit. I think that one is completely fine. You can also run him with Trends in the Universal Market if you like using him with Acheron and don't want to shill for the light cone, as every time he gets hit you burn the enemy. But I think Jeopard's light cone is completely fine on him. If I were you, I'd recommend saving up to get at least one copy of Jeopard's light cone. It is insanely good for preservation characters. But other than that, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know if you're going to summon for Aventurine in the comments. If you're going to skip him, you got him on his first rerun, maybe you're going to get him next time. Let me know, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.